Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and I will be talking about the astrology of January 2024. If you'd like to book a reading with me, please go to my website, thecoolcrone.com, and look for Book Now. There you will see a listing of all the things I offer, as well as have an opportunity to book a reading. Thank you. This month, we will deal with destiny and the plans we have for our future. Careers may be planned, designed, strategized, and created during this amazing 31-day period. The new moon in Capricorn is all about strategizing and beginning a fresh new chapter to build your own empire. With the emphasis on Capricorn and Aquarius from the planets, you may find that empire building seems easier than usual. All month, spiritual evolution with the ambition of Capricorn will be available to all. Near the end of the month, we have a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees. So if you have fire and air signs at 0 to 10 degrees, you'll feel it. Yet Capricorn is still very much a part of the picture. There will be some bravado on display during this full moon. I hope most people will keep their egos in check, but that may be asking far too much restraint from most. Those puffing out their chests the most are the ones who are suffering from neediness and just a lack of hugs. The need to promote one's ideas, whether they're grounded in reality or not, will be strong as well, and may cause some to take extreme action in order to express their dogma, spiritual, or political beliefs. Some may become extremely manipulative, others will be content to go along to get along and not ruffle any feathers. There is support for practical thinking, and some brilliant ideas may come to the fore. Our life mission will be foremost in our minds as we engage with others. There's a lot of support for our goals. Groups will find most members will behave with civility, but there may be some intense opinions being voiced. There are bound to be clashes between certain groups, as the major aspect governing this lunation is a fixed T-square involving Jupiter. Hopefully, this T-square will help get funds released for Ukraine, or at least discussed more full-throatedly than at Mr. Zelensky's last visit to the U.S. Congress. How to get the most out of this video. If you have your chart, keep it handy while you watch this video. Look for the degrees that are the same as your chart, and then look to see which signs those planets are in. Those of you who have astrological points in the earth or water signs from 15 to 25 degrees, especially in the personal planets, that's Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, or Saturn, or your ascendant or midheaven, will have a pretty good time of it for at least the first half of the month. There are several planets and the new moon in Capricorn, which will harmonize with your chart. For those with planets or points, as I mentioned above, in air or fire, you may feel more comfortable towards the latter half of the month when the full moon is in Leo. Anyone who has personal planets in Leo from 0 to 10 degrees may be particularly challenged by this full moon. Now let's talk about planetary ingresses. On January 4th, Mars will enter Capricorn. On January 14th, Mercury will enter Capricorn. On the 20th, the Sun will enter the Aquarius, and the next day, Pluto also enters Aquarius. And on January 23rd, Venus will enter Capricorn. So let's talk about each of these ingresses as they come. On January 4th, Mars will change signs to Capricorn. This will strongly affect people born under Capricorn and those with moon or rising in Capricorn. Capricorn is the potential to manifest what we want in life, as well as creating security for our family. So during this period, which is going to last about 6 weeks, the energy will be focused on those things. Because it is the beginning of the year, it's a good moment to decide what we're going to achieve during the coming year. By mid-February, Mars will have caught up with Pluto, which will have just entered Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign representing society and the masses, so this is a moment when we should be careful of what we do if we want to change our social environment. For example, If we want to impose something on our social environment, we could become quite radical. However, this day also brings discordance with the moon. Fortunately, the moon is very fast moving and it won't last long. When the god of war transits the zodiac sign ruled by Saturn, we have an interesting and devastating combination of energies. Capricorn is deliberate, looks toward the future, appreciates the challenge of climbing a mountain, and, unlike many, does not assume one can do so in 10 minutes. The goat will take its time, learn as he goes, and plan his journey with the steely focus of a 5-star general. At times, this focus can border on cold detachment for what they're planning, but this all goes towards successful implementation of their plan. Now add the energy of Mars. During the transit of Mars in Capricorn, you'll find that things are moving along just as planned, with no mistakes, at a pace that some feel is a bit slower than necessary, and probably no pauses unless they are intentional and fuel the ultimate goal. On hindsight, you'll find that the plans took the perfect amount of time because the results were so good. To have rushed things would have endangered the outcome. So use the early part of this year and all of this month to employ important plans, to implement important changes on how you would like your life to play out for the entire year of 2024. Mercury in Capricorn. By mid-January, Mercury catches up to Mars in the sign of Capricorn, the sign most associated with Saturn. Saturn rules time. So you would think that Mercury in Capricorn would speed things up, make people do things or say things in a hurry. No. Mercury in Capricorn causes us to slow our thinking, which in turn causes a slowdown in speech. This would be a good thing. Now our minds turn to strategy, planning, with an eye towards the future. We ponder how to set things up so that the rest of 2024 and probably the rest of the decade can benefit us, give us peace of mind and a feeling of security. In fact, security is top of mind for Capricorn. The goat always wants to have their future secured. They always want to have material wealth and comfort assured. This is the essence of the Capricorn way. So while this very pragmatic sign is ruling our thoughts, we should take advantage of it to look towards our investments, our health, our families, and make sure that things are as secure as possible. Sun and Pluto in Aquarius. Now, I'm taking these two together because the Sun enters Aquarius on the 20th, and the very next day, Pluto enters Aquarius. And because Pluto is such an intense planet and moves so slowly, you'll begin to feel the effect of this Aquarius energy probably almost a week before it actually happens. This is an important ingress. Not only is the center of our solar system moving into the sign of the future, the masses, humanity, and technology, but the planet for transformation and destruction of weak and corrupt bodies moves there as well. The Sun and Pluto will be in orb of this conjunction for more than a week because the Sun moves about 1 degree per day and Pluto will barely be moving at all, mere minutes per day. Pluto is a generational identifier, and most of my millennials will find this transit challenging. Their natal Pluto is in Scorpio, which is square to Aquarius. Once they get used to the tough energy of Pluto, they'll be able to use it in many ways. I had Pluto transiting my first house for nearly 20 years, and I learned to embrace the transformational power and use it to benefit myself in profound ways. Yes, Pluto changes things, but ripping out the rug from underneath yourself is not the way to look at it. Pluto is showing you, in a very slow, excruciatingly long process, where things are not solid in your life. If you can accept this and roll with it, you can begin to use the energy to make positive and deep changes to the way you view the world, yourself, and others, which makes executing these changes a lot easier. Still challenging, as there will be hard work to do, but you won't be kicking, screaming, and complaining while you do it. For the Gen Zers, this change will bring less difficult energy. You may find that the things you do change have wide-ranging effects. You may make a small change and then see that your circle of friends, your community, your work colleagues, even your state is making a similar change. Perhaps I need to do a video cataloging what this Pluto change will mean for each generation, because it is profound and it will affect each of us in a different way. Pluto in Aquarius means that the Aquarian part of the equation will be put on steroids. When we make progress, it will seem like a giant leap. Look at all the kerfuffle about AI. While we've known about AI, that it was being worked on and perfected for over a decade, it's only been in the last year that we have consistently seen news stories about its warnings, its applications for everyday life, and for technology. Normally, there would not be a story about AI and then not another one until 2 or 3 months later, when some miraculous thing happened that was created or influenced by it. Now, we see things every other day, and there is ChatGPT and other apps offering the technology to the public and making it a part of our society. So, for the 3.5 months when Pluto will be direct in Aquarius, we'll feel the impact of this steroid planet. Once he goes retrograde, it won't stop, but things will get toned down a bit. Unfortunately, Pluto will slip back into Capricorn one last time during its retrograde, and that's when we will learn about all his devastation that we had not been privy to. Ultimately, Pluto in Aquarius will help us rebuild our society to better serve humanity and to root out as much of the fascistic authoritarian tendencies as possible. This has happened before, not only in this country, but around the world. For some reason, humans just love this dictatorial style of leadership, and yet it always crumbles, doomed to fail under the whims of an all-too-human leader. No one is infallible. Therefore, no one leader should be in their position for their entire life. It just doesn't work. Heads up Russia, China, Hungary, and all those stand countries. In conjunction with the Sun in Aquarius, look for this period, which is January 18th through the 23rd, to be a period where it seems like we're heading in the right direction when it comes to our technology and leadership. There will most likely be an action or news story about triumph over evil, breakthrough in tech, breakthrough in toppling authoritarianism, or the exposure and prosecution of some corrupt enterprise. And lastly, let's talk about Venus in Capricorn. This is happening on January 23rd, just to remind you. On the heels of the ebbing orb of our Sun conjunct Pluto aspect, Venus will enter the sign of the Goat. Now we'll have a few weeks where people spend, or you will have a coming together of the very wealthy to proclaim their superiority over the rest of us. Usually Venus in Capricorn is the sign of the gold digger, the person who looks up their potential partner in cranes before saying yes to a first date. Venus in Capricorn in your chart doesn't mean that you're not an adorable person, but it does show that you will have your eye on that platinum credit card more than your lover's face. The ability to earn and provide will be held above all other yardsticks, which means that a lot of the time you're single. Once a female Venus in Capricorn starts earning for herself and figures out that she is the most reliable goat in the herd, she ceases to crave partnership unless it offers her better financial security than she can provide by supporting herself. Odd, because this transition will not be super obvious except to those very, very close to her. She may not even be aware of it herself. She will just think that she is not one to wait around on someone else when she can probably do it better herself. Pity. She could have saved herself so much money on procedures and veneers and just found a great job. And now let's move on to retrograde planets. On January 1st, Mercury stations direct at 22 degrees Sagittarius, 16 minutes. On the 27th, Uranus stations direct at 19 degrees Taurus, 5 minutes. Interesting. Mercury coming to the end of the retrograde usually has us breathing a sigh of relief and the feeling of venturing outside after a long period of sequestration, tentative at first, squinting up at the sun, and being very careful where we step. Now Uranus stations direct at 19 degrees Taurus, 5 minutes on the 27th. Being the planet of chaos and freedom, can allow Uranus to do what we really need: shake up the status quo and stabilize a very unstable environment. Now, if we're talking about the planet, I mean Earth, things are very unstable now, so look for things to be redirected, probably weather-wise, but could also be in the form of earthquakes, monsoons, fires, etc. Now, being in the sign of Taurus, Uranus could cause some severe disruption that ultimately will bring a calmness to our environment. So keep that in mind as the 27th of January draws near. This will be the point where things make a massive change, but this will probably be for the better. Most humans really do not like change, so the transition may be difficult, but the end result will be good. This could also bring about changes to food, agriculture, the gas and oil industries, finance, banking, or anywhere that natural resources or money flow to the masses. When it comes to our society, such as political, military, or governmental bodies, this can bring a sudden change in policies that really surprises people. Some may love it, some may hate it, but it will affect huge swaths of people. Now let's talk about all the planetary aspects, and I've broken things down into each week of the month. Week 1, January 1st through the 7th. During this week, we have Venus squaring Saturn on the 1st, the Sun squaring Chiron on the 6th, and Venus squaring Lilith on the 7th. Let's talk about each aspect in turn. So on the very 1st of January, Venus will be square Saturn. This is the same day that Mercury goes direct. Venus will be at 3 degrees Sagittarius 17, and Saturn will be at 3 degrees Pisces 17. When Venus squares off to Saturn, it can make us feel less than, or even as if we've done something wrong. Don't blame yourself if your relationships seem to be difficult right now, or if you feel as if you're constantly being criticized. This is the time to dig into your strengths, appreciate your accomplishments, and learn from mistakes. The universe never puts anything in your life path that you cannot handle, and every challenge in your life is a lesson. The trick is to figure out what that lesson really is. Sometimes we need some distance to figure it out. But even before we develop hindsight on a situation, if you can keep in mind that there is a lesson involved, it can help to relieve the sting. On the 6th, we have the Sun square Chiron. The Sun will be at 15 degrees Capricorn 29, and Chiron will be at 15 degrees Aries 29. Challenges to our health come about under the Sun square Chiron, so make sure you're doing everything you can to keep your body and mind healthy. In addition, you may become aware of a long forgotten or buried trauma in your past that should be dealt with in order to heal. This is a good time to seek therapy of all kinds or to find an appropriate healthcare or spiritual advisor. Many times our physical ailments are related to our emotional issues. No matter which one is plaguing you, try to approach things with an open mind and seek assistance to relieve the issue. And I should point out here that we have several aspects happening this month that are really good for addressing either traumas or actual health issues. So I would advise you to look at your chart and see if you have things close to this 15-degree range for cardinal signs. So that would be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees in Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, or Libra. And if you do, then this is talking to you. This is a great time to start addressing some health things. On January 7th, Venus will square Lilith. That's Black Moon Lilith. Venus will be at 10 degrees Sag 42. Lilith will be at 10 degrees Virgo 42. While Venus is in freewheeling Sag, Black Moon Lilith is in chaste Virgo, which does not make good bedfellows. If you're sensitive to this transit, you may feel that your best is just not good enough. You may have organized yourself into a corner, only to find that your urges and desires are focused on a different person or area entirely. Venus in Sag is free, wild, impulsive, and creative. BLM in Virgo is organized, pristine, eager to please, and worried that their perfect creation will not be perfect enough. You'll want to throw paint at the wall, and then you'll hope for a perfect portrait. These impulses do not go together. It'll take some loosening of the perfection goal to satisfy either side of your desires. In the end, you may discover some innate abilities that do not require either abandon or perfection, and you may learn something about yourself. And let's move on to week 2, January 8th through the 14th. And those aspects are Mercury squaring Neptune on the 9th, Sun trine Uranus on the 10th, also Mars sextile Saturn on the 10th. On the 11th, we have a new moon in Capricorn, which involves the Sun squaring the nodes, Venus trine Chiron, and Mars trine Jupiter. First up, we have Mercury squaring Neptune. Mercury will be at 26 degrees Sagittarius 1 minute. Neptune will be at 25 degrees Pisces 13 minutes. Mercury will be blabbing all the secrets that Neptune wants to hide. You'll find yourself saying, "I'm sorry," over and over again with this transit if you're sensitive to its degrees. When Sag rules your communications, it does not want to hold anything back. It feels good to blurt it all out. However, the Neptunian need for subterfuge may cause you to tell 1 or 10 big whoppers during the process. I won't say this is the lying transit, but you may end up lying. Sorry. And then on January 10th, we have Mars sextile Saturn. Mars will be at 4 degrees Capricorn 5 minutes. Saturn will be at 4 degrees Pisces 5 minutes. Mars triggers Saturn in Pisces to give and give some more. You'll find yourself helping others with a generous amount of your time and attention, if not funds, under this transit. If that feels good to you, consider doing it more often. The Capricorn influence may have you wondering if you've held out on this action due to embarrassment or shyness. Either way, this is a good icebreaker for you and should open the doors to more selfless acts. Then we have the Sun trine Uranus. The Sun will be at 20 degrees Capricorn 20 minutes. Uranus will be at 19 degrees Taurus 12 minutes. You feel like a genius under this one. Your ideas may seem extraordinary to some, but to you, it's Tuesday. Make sure you jot down all these wonderful creations or you'll forget them as quickly as they were discovered. You'll want to act on at least a few of them, but try to confine yourself to just one brilliant concept at a time, and that way you'll get some traction. And if it works out, go on to another. Since both planets are in Earth signs, you won't be moving super quick anyway, so you'll get it done. On the 11th, we have the new moon in Capricorn, which involves the Sun squaring the nodes, the Sun and Moon actually squaring the nodes, Venus trining Chiron, and Mars trining Jupiter. The new moon will be at 20 degrees Capricorn 44, and the nodes will be at 20 degrees Aries and Libra 19 minutes respectively. So today, you'll feel the hand of destiny. Good thing it's happening on a new moon. You will love the feeling of a new project or a new chapter in your life. Plus, you'll feel you're adding to your own legacy and reputation. While the Sun is in Capricorn, this means everything. In addition, the North Node connection will call us to move forward with future goals and dreams, fulfilling our destiny or mission in life. Now, Venus will also trine Chiron during this new moon. Venus will be at 15 degrees Sag 25, and Chiron will be at 15 degrees Aries 33. This is a wonderful time to do some healing. You'll feel better about asking for healing, getting treatments, or going to therapy now. So use this time to go to these appointments. Plus, the new moon energy will help you feel that it's a new beginning, something you can do on the regular for yourself to improve your self-care routine. Also, we have Mars trine Jupiter. Mars will be at 5 degrees Capricorn 7 minutes. Jupiter is at 5 degrees Taurus 48 minutes. This can be a period of significant achievement. Use this to accomplish goals, especially those involving muscle and grit. So Jupiter is in Taurus, that's the brawn, and Mars is in Capricorn, that's the grit. The combo of these two earth signs will bring lots of determination and strength, even courage to your endeavor. If you're sensitive to these degrees, you can bring something to completion that normally would take twice as long. Now, the new moon in Capricorn is significant for a variety of reasons. Pluto is conjunct both the lights, that's the sun and moon. Even though they're 9 degrees apart, Pluto is strong at the 29th degree of Capricorn, and we're talking about the lights, the most personal bodies in the sky, our sun and moon. This will intensify everything about the lunation, bringing up the lessons of Capricorn, which speaks to our legacy, longevity, determination, our career, the ability to achieve our goals, and many other Saturnine themes. If Saturn is a sensitive planet for you, then this will be a significant new moon. In addition to the 3 aspects I've pointed out above, Sun square the nodes, Venus trine Chiron, and Mars trine Jupiter, Uranus is also trining the Sun and Moon, so something surprising will happen during this moon. Last but certainly not least, we have Black Moon Lilith opposing Saturn in Pisces. This will expose a scandal, but in the most pedantic way. There could be something revealed about gaslighting, sexual proclivities, drug use, mental illness, cults, or delusional thinking. Something extraordinary will be revealed, and possibly multiple things may be revealed. Pluto will make it devastating. The Sun and Moon will make it highly personal, and BLM with Saturn will ensure that it is true and that it sticks to the person who is at the center of the scandal. And now let's move on to week 3, January 15th through the 21st. And for this week, we have Venus trine the node, Sun sextile Neptune, Mercury sextile Saturn, Venus square Neptune, Mercury trine Jupiter, Sun conjunct Pluto, and Mars trine Lilith. So let's look at each one of these. First, Venus trine the node. On January 15th, we have Venus trining the node. Venus will be at 20 degrees Sag 7 minutes. The node will be at 20 degrees Aries and 20 degrees Libra 7 minutes because the nodes are 180 degrees away from one another in the sky. While Venus trines the nodes, it actually trines the north node but sextiles the south node. You'll find opportunities to advance yourself along your path of life. Whether you're looking at your life contract or just career life goals, things will begin to fall into place for you. Use this time to further your advancement where you can. Also on the 15th, we have the Sun sextile Neptune. The Sun being at 25 degrees Capricorn, 21 minutes, Neptune being at 25 degrees Pisces, 21 minutes. The Sun sextile Neptune will be great for artistic expression, spiritual evolvement, psychotherapy, and delving into the subconscious. Meditation, dreaming, doodling are all favored now. Try avoiding manipulation of others during this time, as that's just not nice. On the 18th, we have Mercury sextile Saturn. Mercury is at 4 degrees Capricorn, 56. Saturn's at 4 degrees Pisces, 56. And speaking about your work or the work you would like to do is one expression of this transit. Writing, communicating, singing, dancing, signing, or speaking about it is another. You will have the opportunity to express your love of what you do, or you may be called upon to explain a project that you have created. Enjoy the moment. If you're a craftsperson or work with your hands, this transit is very helpful for you. The ability to think up or dream up new ways to further your business, if you're in business, will be huge under this transit. Clever solutions to everyday problems can be found. Crafting or making things by hand will be a joy. You'll appreciate your ability to do these things, which is wonderful for the winter months. Spend some time dreaming up a wonderful new procedure to streamline your production. You'll be glad you did. On the 19th, we will have Venus squaring Neptune. Venus will be at 25 degrees Sag 26, and Neptune will be at 25 degrees Pisces 26. So they will be exactly square on the 19th. Challenges to your artistic expression are met with unexpected results. Try coloring outside the lines and see what happens. You can almost intuit what comes next if you can let go and let God for 5 minutes. Expression may be resistant by some, but if you can relax a bit, you may find that you enjoy the freedom this transit brings, and you may discover some new talents. Also on the 19th, we have Mercury trining Jupiter, that itty-bitty planet Mercury and that humongous giant Jupiter. Mercury will be at 6 degrees Capricorn, 13 minutes, and Jupiter will be at 6 degrees Taurus, 13 minutes. Jupiter joins the parade with Saturn to create amazing new methods and systems and get them out to many people. Also, with the Jupiter edition, we have the ability to supersize the idea, meaning perhaps the idea itself can become a business product. So use this period of Mercury trine Jupiter to create larger versions of your existing products or to create a better method of creating them. On the 20th, we have the Sun conjunct Pluto. Both Sun and Pluto will be at 29 degrees Capricorn, 59. Pluto makes everything more intense, and the Sun pours daylight on things to expose them and enlighten them. Literally, enlighten them. Thank your lucky stars if you connect with this one, because it will help you to increase your own personal power and your ability to direct your life in whatever direction you choose. This increased ability may create power struggles with those around you, but avoid the temptation to manipulate others. This is similar to the day that the Sun sextiles Neptune. The urge may be strong, but avoid it at all costs. Take your lumps or responsibility for your own choices. There's nothing wrong with that, and you don't need to apologize for it. Also on the 20th, we have Mars trining Black Moon Lilith. Mars will be at 15 degrees Sag 19. Lilith will be at 12 degrees Virgo 9. Mars in the sign of the Goat tangles with Black Moon Lilith in an interesting way. Mars will energize BLM so that we feel compelled to express ourselves in that BLM way. BLM, remember, causes us to have an issue with what we feel ashamed of or what we instinctively need to hide from the world. But in the sign of Virgo, we want to cleanse ourselves, make ourselves presentable or acceptable to the world despite our weakness or lack. This may feel like imposter syndrome, but it's not. BLM holds the key to our acceptance of our lumpy, freckled, hairless, or hairy selves. The way we see ourselves sometimes is much too focused on the things society tells us we cannot be. What if we just said, "Here I am, take me as I am," or "Don't, I don't care, I love myself and I am lovable"? There will always be people who love you just the way you are. But if you hold out to be loved by all, you may succumb to society's norms and prevent yourself from knowing all the love and happiness to which you are entitled. Saturn has been in opposition to BLM since October 12th of 2023. Somehow they are traveling in tandem. So we are becoming used to this energy being stifled. Saturn is giving structure and forming rules for BLM to work within. But BLM is striving to make her urges more mainstream and acceptable since it's in Virgo, so that at the end of the day, we all feel better about ourselves. That wraps up week 3. Now let's move on to week 4, January 22nd through the 28th. And this is the week that we have the full moon in Leo. So on the 24th, we have Mercury trine Lilith, then the full moon, then Mercury squaring Chiron, then Sun square Jupiter, and then on the same day, Mercury conjunct Mars, then Mercury trines Uranus, Venus sextiles Saturn, and Mercury squares the node. So let's go through these pieces. So on the 24th, Mercury will trine Black Moon Lilith. Mercury will be at 12 degrees Capricorn 33. Lilith will be at 12 degrees Virgo 33. Mercury will allow you to speak about those hidden and dark desires that you usually cannot. This may also be a good time to speak with a professional about all sorts of things, psychology or anything, hindrances that you hide, illnesses that you're ashamed of, whatever. Then on the 25th, we have the Leo full moon. Now, I will be doing a whole video devoted to the full moon in Leo, so be sure to watch that on my channel, and this will be up by January 10th. On the 26th, we have Mercury squaring Chiron. Mercury is at 15 degrees Capricorn 52. Chiron is at 15 degrees Aries 52. Don't clam up. Keep talking. It may be hard with this aspect going on, but remember what it felt like 2 days before Mercury was trining Lilith. You can speak about those hidden things, and it does feel better when you do. If you have something that needs healing, it's important to talk to professionals who can help you. Believe me, they have heard it all before, and you won't shock them. On the 27th, the Sun will square Jupiter. The Sun will be at 6 degrees Aquarius 49. Jupiter will be at 6 degrees Taurus 49. This aspect may have some bragging or feeling like they can do no wrong. Be careful here and cut them some slack. Just avoid the days surrounding this aspect and it will pass. Unless they usually behave in an arrogant manner, it will pass. Also on the 27th, we have Mercury conjuncting Mars. Mercury will be at 16 degrees Capricorn 50. Mars will be at 17 degrees Capricorn 3 minutes. Energy in your mouth. Mercury in Capricorn will speak elegantly about things to do with Capricorn. You could rewind this video to listen again to my explanation of Mercury in Capricorn, but I won't torture you. Career, determination, legacy, goals, hard work are all keywords associated with Capricorn. Having Mars next to it grants a ton of energy and ambition moving in this same direction. So, if you didn't want to talk about your career and legacy before, you will now. In fact, as soon as Mars enters Capricorn, you'll find yourself working on these things, even if Capricorn is not your midheaven or 10th house. It's the energy of hard work in order to scale huge mountains. It may take a while, years in fact, but it will also be worth it. Mercury, Mars are agents of ambition and courage, so take advantage. On the 28th, we have Mercury trining Uranus. Mercury is at 19 degrees Capricorn 5 minutes. Uranus is at 19 degrees Taurus 5 minutes. When Mercury touches the same degree as Uranus in a sister sign, she brings about divine inspiration. You may feel like you've been touched by the gods. Another amazing point in this month is the spiritual advantage the universe gives you. Also on the 28th, Venus sextiles Saturn. Venus is at 5 degrees Capricorn 47. Saturn is at 6 degrees Pisces 5 minutes. Whew, finally an easy transit. You'll find that people are responsible and reserved. They'll be truthful, social, and you won't be surprised with bad behavior. Venus in Capricorn not only follows the rules, but cleans up after herself. She, of the status-driven relationship, sextiling her way into a relationship with Saturn will be the most exciting thing she does all month, and she will revel in it. Next, we have Mercury squaring the node on the same day. Mercury still at 19 degree Capricorn 23, and the north node at 19 degrees Aries 23. And of course, this means the south node is in 19 degrees Libra 23. And because this is a 90-degree angle, it means Mercury is aspecting both nodes in the exact same way. Grappling with one's destiny seems an appropriate way to bring this month to a close. When the other planets connect to the nodes, they bring you new ways to look at your life, see what you've already done, and help you to chart your course for the future. Mercury squaring that same point allows you to evaluate what you are about so you can refine your choices. Don't think of this as resistance. Think of it as a chance to make sure of them. All right. Then the last is Week 5, January 29th through the 31st. And I've cut it short. I didn't want to get into February in this video. And I just want to say thank you so much. I had so many internet problems and then Mercury retrograde. And I got my people finished doing my studio mostly before Mercury went retrograde. But there's still a few little details to finish. But it feels like since Thanksgiving, it has just been one thing after another and very difficult to get to these videos. Plus, when your internet's out, you just can't do anything. So I apologize for the lateness, but I'm so glad that you've hung in there and you've listened to the video this far. So let's finish up with week 5, January 29th through the 31st. And we have Venus trining Jupiter, Mars trining Uranus, Mars squaring the node. So let's start with Venus trining Jupiter. Venus will be at 6 degrees Capricorn 59. Jupiter will be at 6 degrees Taurus 59. How lucky can you get? I used to sing that song from Funny Lady starring Barbra Streisand. I love that song. And Venus trine Jupiter will cause you to say it. No matter what you have or have not accomplished this month, it's good to feel good about yourself and the choices you've made. Time to count your blessings and look at all the things in your life that help you on your way to your destiny. If you don't believe in destiny, you should. You're marching towards it every day. Be sure you know where you're going. Also on the 29th, we have Mars trining Uranus. Mars at 19 degrees Capricorn 5 and Uranus at 19 degrees Taurus 5. The energy you need to implement and execute that divine plan you downloaded under Mercury trine Uranus the day before is here. This whole month seems to be fated for so many, so why should you be different? Uranus may be our best connection to the angels. So if you are on a spiritual path, don't miss this aspect where Mars, which is your energy and ambition, will allow you to connect to them in a meaningful way. And on the 30th, we have Mars squaring the node. Mars is at 18 degrees Capricorn 22, squaring both nodes at 19 degrees 23 minutes of Aries and Libra, respectively. When Mars squares the node, you may question your destiny or why you're trying to do what you're doing. If you're young and unsure of your plan, then reevaluate and make adjustments. If you're sure of yourself and your plan, then use that Mars energy to make progress. So that's all that I have for January of 2023. Be sure to watch my full moon video. Be sure you have your notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my videos that will be coming up. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful January, and I'll see you next time.